Have you ever played a game where the material was completely equal, you made no big mistakes, no big blunders, but still somehow you lost? Has that ever happened in your games? You're not alone. This is something that I have seen happen a lot, especially in games at the level under 1500 elo. And one of the most common reasons, if not the most common reason why this happens, is because of what I call mindless exchanges that players make. What are mindless exchanges? Well, I'm going to show you a game so that you understand what this exactly is. And later I'll also show you how much of a difference it makes whenever you do these mindless exchanges and whenever you don't. So we have a we have a game that I'm going to show you. This is from one of my games. I was playing with the black pieces and my opponent opened the game with e4, and we reached this position where everything is equal. Both sides have got out their pieces. Here I decided to go long castle, and now my opponent played a move that I like to call a mindless exchange, bishop into f6. This is a move that like the bishop is worth 3 points, the knight is worth 3 points, let me exchange it. Okay, there is no clear plan of what you're going to do after the exchange, but just it's good to trade off the bishop with the knight. However, just because of this one move, white gets a completely lost position. Okay, maybe not lost, but white gets a very, very hard position to play with. Now I have 3 ways to capture the bishop: this pawn, this pawn, this queen, and all of them will give me in some way or the other. All of them have their pros. I decided to go g into f6 here, and white short castle. And the exact reason why I played g into f6 is to discourage white from castling to the short side. However, white still went here, and after rook g8 I got a very, very strong attack. He played knight h2, and now I go bishop into e2, queen into e2. And now you might think that, okay, I also traded pieces. Was this a good exchange or not? Well, in this case what happens is, yes, I traded the piece, but what happens is I get my knight in the middle of the board because of this. So I have a clear plan of how to follow up after I trade my pieces. Okay, and as you can see, just because I got my knight here in the middle of the board and I got to attack the queen, you can see suddenly my position just became super strong, and there was a crushing attack against this king. Later on I went on to win the game. And all of this, all of these problems could have been avoided had white in the beginning not played bishop into f6. Just notice how much of a difference it makes to the position if we are just a little bit mindful before we exchange pieces. Let's say white plays queen d2, white doesn't trade, you can play e6. Okay, now white goes long castle. Okay, again white is not trading, white is just completing his development. Bishop e7. Let's say white plays this, let's say black goes here. White doesn't even need to take bishop into f6 here, because this is again like, does white have a clear follow-up? Does white have a clear plan after this? Okay, maybe right now he has, because after knight e4 black is we have still some more exchanges. Maybe in this case it makes sense, but here also if white can play bishop f4, and once again he's keeping tension in the position, suddenly it's not so easy for black to break through or to create play on his own. Now let me flip the board and show you an example in the Sicilian. We have the Sicilian on the board, e4, c5, and let's say we have all these standard moves and we get this position. Now here there is one common move I've seen is knight into c6. This is again another example of a mindless exchange. Like if black plays b into c6, what? You've just given black more control over the center. Let's say you continue to develop like this, black plays e6 and d5. And now again many players go, okay, my bishop is attacked, my pawn is attacked, I cannot capture with the bishop, it would be bad, so let me capture with my pawn. But again, this is not a good move, because it gives black complete control over the center thanks to this d5 pawn. Instead, what you could do is you could ask black to go for this exchange. Okay, bishop d3, let him go for the exchange. Then you can take, and then you can put the bishop. Now just notice, black initiated the exchange, but we got a better position out of it. Our bishop came in a nice central square. Okay. So like, let's say you play this here, check. Now once again bishop into d7, mindless exchange. Why do you want to trade that? You can play a move like, let's say, queen e2, just keep the game going, or a move like queen d3, keep the game going, no need to take it back here. just wait in the position. And this is how someone who's, let's say, a professional, they would play. Okay, they would not go for any exchanges that they are not forced to make, or that don't give them any specific value for doing it. Okay. And we'll see how much of a difference it makes. Let me just go back once again to this position. Let's say e4, your opponent plays c5, and let's say in this case we are very, very mindful before we make any exchange. cd4, knight d4, knight f6. You can just simply defend it with knight c3. This trade is there, but we are not going to take it. Let's say black plays d6. Now you can play bishop g5. You can threaten to capture here, force them to play this, and you don't need to take bishop into f6. Why do you want to take that? You can play a move like queen d2. Let there be tension. Let them think, can I capture on, will white capture on f6, or will white not capture on f6? Let's say they play a6. Again, you don't need to play this. Just long castle. You don't need to play this. You don't need to play this. Just play simple, normal developing moves. Here, the next time you trade pieces, ask yourself one very important question. Is this trade really helping me? If the answer is yes, if you can find a way in which that trade helps you, go ahead with it. If not, then maybe you don't necessarily need to make that trade. That's what strong players do. Okay, I hope this was useful. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.